This is a really awesome moment for me because my videos have needed to start out with this statement for a very long time, and I'm so happy that it finally is. But welcome everyone to my journey in Lego organization. If by chance you just found this, I'm currently working on not only organizing my Lego studio, which I'm in right now, but also my Lego storage room, and that's where our last episode took us, into the storage room of doom, where I ended up finding a spot to put this bookshelf that Mrs. Brickitect lovely donated to me. And I put all of my Lego manuals inside of 3-ring binders, and they're all on the shelf right now looking nice and off of other shelves, which I was able to get out of the studio and free up a little space, which I desperately need. In today's episode, we're still living the shelf life, but these ones, they're a little more interesting. Before we get too deep into this, I'll give you some reference as to where we're at here in the studio. This, of course, is Brickitect, still very messy, but what isn't messy here in the Brickitect studio? But we're not going to focus our attention on that because that'll be in some future episodes, I'm sure. Instead, let's focus on the shelves that I built, installed, and decorated. These shelves that you see over here are from a brand called Closet Made, which this is, I believe, the 5th and 6th shelf that I've built from them. You can buy them on Amazon, and for the price, the quality is actually really nice, and I just love the way they look. So I decided to continue the trend that we started upstairs in our office and bring these down here to continue building, and that is what I've done. I've actually taken some of my builds and I put them on these shelves, which was below a TV. Prior to this, I had this hope chest over here. Never really had a place, and of course I don't really want like family photos, which is what's inside here, all over my Lego space, and I thought, wouldn't I rather have some Legos displayed here? So that is what is here, and it's below this TV, which is actually floating, and it may look like the TV is in an angle, and it is because it's adhered to the wall. There's a mount behind there, and that's for when you're sitting over here at the messy Brickitect. You can actually watch some TV, and that can come out a lot further as well. But let's talk about these shelves. This is the smaller version of the shelves that they make. Actually, I have a bigger version right over there, and we'll talk about that in a second. But these are supposed to be 3 shelves, and I actually have 2 of the shelves sitting over here. But being that we have some bigger sets like Apocalypseburg to fit on here, I needed some space. And also the Statue of Liberty finally has a life out here. And then I put some smaller stuff down below. We've got the carousel. We've got the Spider-Man bridge battle, which I love that set. Don't mind the dust. We've got some Star Wars setup over here, the walkers. And then Joker Manor is sitting there looking just so beautiful. I've decided the way that I want to treat these shelves is sort of as a revolving showcase where the sets aren't there forever, but just for a period of time where I can enjoy them, appreciate them, and say something new comes along that I want to put there, that can go there in the place of an older set. And then that set can go back into the storage room where I hopefully have some space, which, speaking of space, I've actually created a little bit, believe it or not. Let me show you. Are we good on viewer discretions here? Because it's still a mess in here, believe it or not, but I do have a little bit of a walkway, thankfully. And if you look down here, as you might believe, taking out, oh, the lighting's not great. Let's see if this helps at all. Marginally. Taking out some sets has allowed me to have some empty space and then also more space for backlog sets that are currently here. This has also gotten pretty barren, so we'll clear this out. I'm going to tear some of this stuff apart just because I feel like I'm not going to have it all on display, and if it's not going to be on display in the studio, it can be broken down. So I'll probably break most of this down just to free up space here, because the more space gets freed up here, the less things are on the ground. And that's gotten better too, as you can see. We now have a walkway, which we were lacking a little bit. And that's kind of what these 2 days of videos have accomplished for me with these shelves. It's given me a little bit of breathing room down here because you need some space to move around in order to organize. And now that I have that, it feels a lot better back here just to be able to like walk, because this is a luxury at this point, which is it's so bad. That's why I'm making this series of videos, and that's what I want to talk to you about. I actually have a few goals in this series of videos about Lego organizing that's going to go on for the foreseeable future, but my main thing is I just want to make a little bit of progress every day. If it involves building a shelf and putting some sets on it, that's great. If it involves tearing down a set, that's great. If it involves getting things on shelves, that's great. If it involves getting rid of shelves, any little bit of progress is better than nothing. And I feel like in making these videos, I'm holding myself accountable to you. You guys want to see the progress. You want to see how I'm making out. If it wasn't for the fact that I was making these videos, it'd be very easy to say, I'll build that shelf tomorrow. I'll do that next week. And when you start putting stuff off, nothing gets done. And that is probably the thing that I've learned most in what is a very messy space here. So much of this was, I'll make a video about this thing and then I just won't clean it up. I'll just run off and start editing it, and then tomorrow that mess is there. And then 2 days later, there's double the mess, and it just keeps getting worse and worse. So a big part of this challenge is going to be not only cleaning up the space here, but also finding ways to store the stuff that I have, and then deciding ultimately what's really important to me that should be on display, like this stuff, for example, the things that you really want to show off, some things that can be broken down, and maybe some things that can be sold off. So it's all going to be a big process, and I'm excited to go on this. One thing I am sad about, though, today, I was so excited to find a place for Destiny's Bounty. I love this set so much, but there just wasn't a spot for it. It's so big, it's so tall. So I'm hoping for a little bit of an opportunity, and I'll show you kind of what's to come. If you guys think this is the end of Shelfitect, I hate to break it to you, but we have another one of these upstairs right now. And what I'm going to do, if I kind of move out here a little bit, you can see I can slide that down. That can go essentially against the window there, which then gives us enough space. I measured it to have a second one of these. So then we can double up our storage here. And I think I'm also going to expand this, and that'll be for a whole nother episode because I've got to buy another $400 worth of shelves to pull it off. I hope if you're watching these videos, you're getting something out of them, whether it is just to see what the true life of a Lego YouTuber may look like. Not speaking for everyone, but for me, this is what reality is. Or maybe it's motivating you or encouraging you to maybe get organized as well, or giving you some ideas. That'd be sweet. But for now, it's just a guy trying to get his stuff under control and feeling good throughout the process. So thank you so much for tuning in, and I'll see you in the next episode for more shelves.